Wonderful evening to our viewers out there. You're welcome once again to Sports Orbit. My name is Apacho. Salifu Usman is also in the studio with me. Salifu, welcome to today's edition of the program. We begin straight from the Super Eagles, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been ranked as the most expensive national football team on the continent. That's according to data from a transfer market. Despite the Super Eagles currently occupying 13th position in the FIFA rankings, they came first as far as how valuable their players are in the world. Many Nigerians play for clubs in Europe's most lucrative top-flight leagues, which led to the national side being named as the most valuable. Of course, according to a post on Twitter, Osimhen's transfer demand by Napoli has helped the Super Eagles rank first in Africa, while Morocco is in number two. With Nigeria in first place, Morocco climbed to second place on the continent thanks to a history-making appearance in Qatar. Well, some might say, well, this is not, yeah, fine, you have a more expensive squad, a good team, but this should have reflected, on the pitch. Because it's one thing to have, all of your players, like the report rightly said, you have almost all of your players playing for top leagues in the world, but you now come against players, teams who, some of their players, I'm sure, have not even traveled beyond the shores of Africa, and you're finding hard to get the job done. So we call this an achievement or just one of those things?
Yeah, obviously, it's not an achievement. I even see that as a mockery of Nigerian national team.
Very well.
Yeah, I think nobody should appreciate it and to see that welcome development. Yes, it's good that we have to have player play the top thing,
Yeah.
play well for their private, for their club, and for their pet, for their interest, but not for the country, because we can't claim to have the most valuable players in the national team. Because yes, some people, somebody with the song will argue that that report can be true. But if you look at it critically, you tend to agree with the report.
Mm.
For instance, if you pick Senegal, who is the best ranked team in Africa, how many Senegal teams have the players are playing
Exactly.
outside the soil of the country, and
Mm.
even play outside the soil of the country. Apart from the top name Senegal player,
Mm.
if you name the like of Koulibaly, the
Mane, then probably Mendy.
Mendy's and three others,
Maybe one or two others.
and two others. Who
Mm.
else will you mention against
Exactly.
that? And to reckon with the club they are playing for.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go to Egypt, the only appreciable name you see there is Salah.
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 Probably and then
Then who play for Arsenal.
Mm.
Then if you come to Ghana, who few of them,
Maybe
apart
Partey,
from
few of them,
Partey's and their youth brothers and
Yeah.
few others.
Mm.
Whereas again, if you go to Cote d'Ivoire, the same thing. Then if you look at it collectively, but if you come to the Super Eagles,
Mm.
even far from the reserve bench, all of them are playing outside the soil of the country
Exactly.
and playing for a club that to some measure you think to make their notable club. But the question is that how reflecting how in terms of reflecting in the input of the national team, we have the most valuable players on the continent. But however, when it comes to the teamwork and national team collectively, we are not anywhere near the top five in the continent of Africa. If by my own assessment, with me and you are to assess the national teams of Africa team, African national team today, let's do a thorough assessment, thorough analysis of the African national team, and based on the performance of the team in their last five matches. Super Eagles, you can't even rank Super Eagles among the top 20. Because let's be obvious. I'm not taking that. I'm not saying that Super Eagles is not one of the best. But if you are judging them by their last five match performance on the continent, you don't see Africa near in the top 10. You don't see Nigeria near in the top 10 based on that performance.
I agree.
But I'm planning to have the most flexible. And yet, it also boils down to the question that, well, what we keep on saying here, yes, we have the play, but what is missing is the technical know-how of the game.
Exactly.
We don't have the technical, we don't know how. It's like a farmer who have the cutlass, have the tool, and have the fertile land, but he don't know how to make use of it.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what is missing. We have every facility, we have everything you needed as a coach to make Super Eagles work, but it's not working because we don't know people. We don't have people who know how to put there and put there to make a company and make it one of the best teams.
Right, I completely agree with you. Even though we might have all of the players, like you said, when it comes to the technical side of it, a team like Super Eagles also needs a world-class
Coach.
technical crew to, take them to the next level. Away from that, down for Rivers United, course, their head coach Stanley Guma is upbeat on the chances of his team lifting the CAF Confederation Cup this season. The Nigerian football MPFL champions are among the 8 quarterfinalists in this year's competition. Of course, no team from Nigeria has ever won this competition, and Eguma is determined to see his side bring the trophy back home for the first time. He said, I can tell you that it has been a fruitful experience for us. We were 4 clubs from Nigeria that made it to the continent, and we are proud of ourselves for still flying the flag high. We hope on doing more great things for the sake of Nigeria. Of course, later on today, the draws for the quarterfinals will be held, and Rivers United will know their group opponents, their quarterfinal opponents. From there, we'll see if they can make it to the final four, and who knows what. I mean, for Eguma sounding very confident, at least they made it to the quarterfinal, and not minding the fact that about 6 of those teams in that, I think 5 of those teams are North Africans, which has always been our nemesis when it comes to club football.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I think Stanley Sekuma, I think he should keep, he should have his mouth close to his chest for now. I think it's not the time to quit. If you go in this service, you look at their performance so far, so they give you some credit, give it some credit, and even for the first saying that we are the fourth team from Nigeria that went to the continent, and we are still remain the only one. Yeah, it's good that they are still remaining what it is to tell us that they drop from the A class to B class.
Yeah, exactly.
To play in the A class, but they drop from A class to B class. But the fact that they are able to sustain their positions to be among the top 3 that progress to the quarterfinal is an achievement. But to begin to sound confident that they are going to win the cup, I think it's too early. It should work on his team first. Because if you look at their last match when they lost to Ahmed Asset Mimosa,
Yeah.
I'm not impressed at all. And quarterfinal for a knockout stage of the competition, that is where the Nigeria team always find it difficult
Difficult, yeah.
because the knockout competition, the knockout stage is a different game from the group stage. The group stage you can play and then have a second chance to amend yourself. But in the knockout stage, is you either you eliminate you or I eliminate you. So and I think we have the way that let him know see the draw first and probably go beyond the first round of the group, go beyond the quarterfinal. And then when you get to the semi-final, you cannot begin to talk here. You have the chance to win and you have this to win. But to begin some confidence now that they are going to win, I think it's still early. And but however, it's not because of our attitude and because of the way they are talking of club football in Africa. Nigeria should be the agenda days of American.
Exactly. Completely. I quite agree with you. I think for now is time to keep his cards close to his chest and see how far they can progress in the tournament. Of course, to some other news coming from actually Insurance of Benin, where Nigerian sports legend, who is also the executive chairman of Edo State Sports Commission, has revealed that some top clubs in the NPFL are actually ganging up against Pendel Insurance, to trying to influence referees to see how we can ensure that insurance does not either falter or somehow, because according to him, he said a lot of these MPFL clubs see Pendel Insurance, who have been some kind of giant killers. Like this thing is just coming from the Division One and doing big things. And like he gave example of their last match against Eyimba Inaba, where clearly the referee awarded a questionable penalty in favor of Eyimba, and that match eventually ended in a draw. But basically, he's saying, look, the way some referees, especially a away match, are treating Pendel Insurance, it's not really good, and the IMC should really sit up and take a look at the referees.
Well, to me, that is a call.
Mm.
And IMC will not take that call.
Likely,
They need to act on it.
Exactly.
Even though the call the call comes from a participant who can allege anything or cry foul or anything. But in as much as you don't just look at the message, look at the message. Because to some extent, some of us are trying to, as much as possible, to give some credit to IMC. Give some credit to IMC, but and they should allow to the good work they have done so far to be rubbish by any selfish club managers or any software any club. They need to work on it and monitor those referees very closely to ensure that yes, the league is giving the deserved credibility in it, and let's at least for one, let's have the true champions of the Nigerian league. The IMC, I think, Benga Elegbele and his team will not take this cry lightly. They will definitely, I believe they'll definitely act on it and monitor the level closely to ensure that yes, we have a credible league and not to allow all the world they have done so far to mess up by anyone.
All right, we still have more on sports orbit in the second half, but first we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, sport orbit continues. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 08036886158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit. To the 2023 World University Games, where a total of 100 athletes will represent Nigeria at the Games. Acting Secretary General of NUGA, who spoke in Abuja over the weekend, said it is a great opportunity for Nigerian students to showcase their talents at the global stage and bring glory and honor to the nation. The World University Games, also known as Universiade, is a multi-sport event that takes place every 2 years, bringing together student athletes from across the world to compete for honors in different sporting events. This year's edition will hold in Chengdu, China, and is expected to attract over 10,000 participants from more than 170 countries. So, I mean, for Nigeria, I think that's a strong contingent, 100 athletes at least. We should expect that out of these 100 athletes, at least we shouldn't be expecting anything, at least a good haul of medals from these 100 athletes who will be representing Nigeria at the World University Games.
Yeah, for me, my impression is really about making the harvest of medal. It is an opportunity. To me, it is a window of opportunities for these athletes who have been selected for this game. If you recall, the university is a collegiate game. Even where if you do well, you're not even win the medal for your country. But to me, most of the athletes that have been selected to participate in Nigeria should see it as a real opportunity and an opportunity to secure yourself, probably live on a step further and in your sporting career. Even if you do well, you can be invited or get a scholarship from the Americans. A whole lot of Nigerian athletes who are to excel today in athletic are all in collegiate athletes do well. What sort of on scholarship with an Americans one. So it's an opportunity that is a really to me it's a personal opportunity to lose athletes first and then to the country. And I think if whoever they should grab this opportunity to support themselves and probably who knows where it might line there
Very well.
in a positive move.
Very, like you said, I mean, an opportunity for students to showcase themselves because some this will be a springboard. This will be their only opportunity, or even getting recognized by the federations. And who knows if some of them might in 50 years to come, we should be some stars who will be seen in different competitions. Now over to some cricket news where President of the Cricket Federation, Uyi Akpata, has stated that the just concluded Women's T20I Invitational Tournament played a major role in development of facilities in the country. The Nigerian team at the Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval in Lagos defeated the defending champions Rwanda by 9 runs to win the tournament. Of course, while speaking at the event, he actually acknowledged that, with this invitational, he said from having 0 turfs about 4 years ago, cricket we now have about 7 turfs across the country, and he said this is as a result of hosting of the events here and there. Of course, this edition had the likes of Ghana, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, and of course Nigeria. So I mean, good development for cricket, a game which is gradually finding its feet in Nigeria. Still not popular yet, but gradually, taking roots in Nigeria.
Obviously, cricket is one of the is fast growing country, and kudos to the Nigerian Cricket Federation. Just like the presidency, the benefit of hosting the competition, this is one of the dividends of hosting the
Exactly.
competition. It's not just about hosting of bringing people. Apart, sometime when a country bid to host a tournament, it goes beyond coming to play. There are other side attractions and other side advantages of it. It gives you opportunity to develop your facility, just like rightly say. It also added to the value of your economy. Only God knows how much has been added to the value of Lagos economy, and particularly Nigeria in the last 1 week. Because having a athlete, having a team from Ghana, from Cameroon, from Ghana, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Rwanda, and all those people came from their country, and only God knows how much they have spent within the period of the stay. It's not just it's not the gain of that population is not limited to the improvement of the facility. It's go beyond that. Tourism wise and economic wise has been impacted positively in the last 1 week. And just like you said, cricket is fast growing in Nigeria, and unlike before, even in the last 10 years ago, nobody knew anything the game like a game of cricket. It started when the Mecca Onyama became the president of the Cricket Federation about a decade ago. Mecca Onyama started a process negotiating to try to speaking the cricket program. Then the next president, one day, acquire somewhere, one of the professor from the best of Lagos here. His son is escaping my memory at the moment. The last president is his own predecessor. Also did well. I came in trying to and now here he was the deputy to the and I taking over from where his predecessor stopped, and he appeared to be even double the speed for the way Akpata is going. And he just 1 year, he just almost 1 year on the job as president of Nigeria, and we can see the dividends everywhere. And just like say, unlike now, apparently we're having get over scattered around the country, but Abuja headquarters have over two international cricket overs in Abuja. This thing at the moment. We have one in Benin, we have about 3 or 4 in Lagos. So that is a good development. I dream seeing Nigeria hosting an ICC competition, World Cup event in Nigeria very soon. That's a good one.
Right, to some tennis now, not so good news for Rafael Nadal, who currently the French Open defending champion, may miss the French Open after pulling out of next week's Monte Carlo Masters with an ongoing hip injury. The Spanish world number 14 has won the tournament in Monaco 11 times, but is not fit to return to action. The 36-year-old has not played since a straight second round defeat by American Mackenzie McDonald at the Australian Open in January. Of course, he said, after 2 months abroad, I'm happy to return home, but sad because I finished my last match in Miami with physical discomfort. So, as it seems, except maybe he gets returned to full fitness, Nadal might just miss the French Open, where he has really been his main turf, the French Open, because he'll also be missing that Monte Carlo Masters. But for Nadal recurring injury problems, so he started to for Federer gradually before got to a point where he just had to throw the toil. And for Nadal too, I mean, I begin to see him going through that route, very soon. He's already 36 years old and recurring injury problems. I won't be surprised if one of these days he announces that look, it's time to call it quits from the game.
Yeah, it's like obviously take the weather from my mouth. He has the same thing that the Federer is
Exactly.
that way. It's really unfortunate because and then obviously the Monte Carlo Master this year we never be. They will not look like what he used to be
Yeah.
because the king of the king of the
Exactly.
play who has demonstrated how to prove himself as his master, his expert as his own tournament.
Yeah.
Because nobody has done better than what he has done on that plane. And now Carlos without Nadal, the devil cannot be complete.
Very
Because
well.
it's going to be a minor for the organizer. But how I'm talking about Nadal is like, well, the age is already
Yeah,
catching
catching up
himself.
with very well.
At 35 to stand on the court to play that, it will be almost 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes it's not really easy. And then this is already
Exactly.
less much of injury.
Injury, yeah.
Yeah, because yesterday where I saw yesterday was a Monday when I saw a release of the latest ranking of ITF, sitting at that ranking 14 on the log.
yeah.
I was saying, wow.
Because there are a lot of young
Young
boys
athletes
who are coming up,
yeah.
these days,
When I
and
saw him ranking number 4, I said, no. Well, you see, Djokovic, despite not play at the Miami Open, returned to number 1.
yeah,
Of course, of the defeat of Barata, who was number 1 before, because of his losing in the semi-final. And now Nadal, now missing the Monte Carlos, we should have the opportunity to upgrade it and coming back in the top ranking. Definitely, yeah, who knows if he may go down into the beyond top 20 in the rank war, and then definitely the two guys will be to call it quit. What we still want to see Nadal around the court, around the tennis court, and then do what we know how to do best.
right to some French League on news where some disgruntled PSG fans, of course, were heard booing at Lionel Messi again as his name was announced in the starting lineup, of which they ended up losing 1-0-2. Beyond the Argentine captain was booed by supporters also in their previous game where they also lost 2-0 to Rennes on the 19th of March. I mean, sometimes players can be very fans rather, impatient. But I mean, like we spoke yesterday about Lionel Messi. I mean, he has seen it all. There's really nothing to prove at this period, especially having won the World Cup. I don't think Messi is playing football anymore to prove anything. I think for him, it's just maybe for the love of, the game at this point. Because I mean, broken every record, achieved everything achievable in the game, and I think it's just maybe for the love of the game and just to stay fit. That's still, pushing him on.
Yeah, that is the more reason why some fans will not take lightly with it, because the fans believe that the club is paying you and then for you to please them and to do well for them. You are just there just for you and you feel you have achieved it all. And you are not ready to.
No, but a team game. I mean, if PSG loses, he wasn't the only player on the pitch.
He
So why
wasn't-
single him out to?
No. Yes, he wasn't the only player on the pitch, but when people believe that you have what it takes to change the game and you don't contribute, for instance, the PSG fans has begun to get angry with Lionel Messi after their inflated edges from the Champions League in the hands of Bayern Munich. And if you can go back and YouTube and then watch that replay of that match again, you definitely agree with some fans and some people, some analysts who say that Messi contribution in that match was of operation, because I can't imagine a star like Messi when you are going there, begin to stand watching at the television or to see what is happening when you are on the pitch of the game. You remember one of the Saudi sheep also making mockery of Messi, where he said, I can't have a player who will not come to the pitch and watch television. But Messi, yes, and just like you rightly say, after the World Cup, his performance at the PSV has come to the question. A lot of people are not comfortable though he's playing for him after the World Cup, and maybe just like say maybe he's being carried away. What else left? I have seen it all. What left now is just for me to enjoy myself. But to enjoy yourself, you also need to. Some people want you to please them. But if you know, PSG are desperately in need of a result, not for the domestic result, but for a result from the continent, from the Europe, and which they are eagerly designed. I have thrown everything into it, but everything they throw into it. It always fall flat. And here again, this season again, they can't even get to the quarterfinal of the competition. They get knocked out. And yes, they lost, losing to Lyon again. It's quite disappointing. And when you have a star players in the team like Messi, like Mbappe, and the rest of us, and you are losing to each other. So Messi, yes, and just like you say earlier, the age is no longer on his side. And another thing that is getting the fans angry is that he's not willing to take a pay cut. He has insisted that no, he must be a full payment, that anything short of his normal salary is no longer willing to commit his future to the team. And if PSG must sustain him, that means they have to let some players go meet up the fair play rule, and they're asking to forfeit 25% of his salary at the moment, and which is not willing. And the top field is not what he used to be at his start or at his time. And so this has come of the dispute between the Messi and his club. I mean, like now, his father, who is his agent, is also pushing hard for him to return to Barcelona. And just like we see yesterday, which may be counterproductive.
Very well. Before we leave, some EPL matches will go down today. Of course, the big one will be Liverpool, who will be hosting Chelsea at Anfield tonight. Of course, two of these clubs, desperate for the result tonight. For Chelsea, new manager in charge, for Liverpool, not the best of season, but tonight they come up against each other this time around. Actually, Chelsea hosting Liverpool in that one. Sally, quickly,
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. And just like you say, you're saying, nothing less to be had or to remove. The two sides desperately need of results, and they are also hoping to make up the Champions League positions, which most look like impossible now. And any of these two sides, whoever suffered difficulty, that will command their own. The new man, although on interim base, also want to justify the covenant put on him to justify if he who say he's not desired to be a permanent coach, and the only way he can convince the owner
is to bring results.
And what the best way to start against a club like Liverpool. So a victory for him against Liverpool will definitely add a credit to his profile. And for Klopp, who is also beginning to express fears because of high number turnover of managers that have been signed this season for poor performance. About 12 managers have let go this season, the current season, and even him is already on the edge, on the seat on the fence. Either he is going to stay, but he stayed so far now is because of the past record.
He actually said it himself.
Starting on the because of the past record, and they all feel that one bad season is not enough to just treat him the way they are treating him, and that is what he just enjoys. And also he needs to prove that he still needs the job to keep.
Exactly. Of course, other games to see: Leeds United up against Nottingham Forest. Leicester City also sacked their manager. Also,
another interesting match.
Aston Villa.
For Aston Villa.
Against Brighton. Of course, matches come up 7:45, and of course, the Chelsea Liverpool 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Here on Sports Orbit, we'll keep an eye on those matches, and tomorrow we'll bring you results.
And remember Aston Villa, and then sack Potter.
Yeah, very well.
So I think the interim coach at Leicester will not want them to sack him.
Exactly. All right, that's our package on today's edition of the program. Tomorrow we'll be back again 4 p.m. Nigerian time. Thank you for being in the studio today.
Thank you.
All right, tomorrow we'll come back again with another exciting episode of the program. Until then, you have a wonderful time. My name is Apacho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.